In the headlines, solidarity protests in support of Palestinians as Israel Defense Minister orders complete siege on Gaza. Police officer sentenced to death for killing of Lagos lawyer Bolele Rahim. 4 die, 3 injured in Lagos-Ibadan Expressway auto crash. 3 civilians killed in hospital bombardment in Sudan. Hello and welcome to Trust News Update. I am Abdurrahman Omar. Thanks for joining. Now the news in full. Israeli Defense Minister Yoav Gallant on Monday ordered a complete siege on the Gaza Strip as the military pounded the Palestinian territory with airstrikes. Gallant said in a video message that they are putting a complete siege on Gaza with no electricity, no food, no water, no gas, referring to the enclave that is overcrowded with 2.3 million people. At least 700 people were killed in southern Israel when Hamas militants stormed across the border on Saturday, shooting people in the communities and towns near Gaza before Israeli security forces began fighting back. Reports say an estimated 250 people were killed by Hamas gunmen at a music festival attended by young Israelis and foreigners near Kibbutz Rim, close to Gaza. At least 493 people have also been killed in the Gaza Strip after the Israeli military launched airstrikes on the Palestinian enclave in response to the Hamas attack. In the meantime, the Lagos State High Court sitting at the Tafawa Balewa Square Annex, Ebosore, Lagos Island, has convicted and sentenced to death by hanging a suspended Assistant Superintendent of Police ASP Drambi Vendi for the murder of Lagos-based lawyer Omowolale Rahim. Justice Ebron K. Harrison held that the prosecution, the Lagos State government, has proven the case against the convict beyond all reasonable doubt. On January 16, the Lagos State government arraigned Vendi before the court for shooting to death the 41-year-old pregnant lawyer at the Aja Underbridge checkpoint on December 25, 2022. The convict faced a 1-count charge of murder contrary to Section 223 of the Criminal Law of Lagos State, 2015. Now, gunmen have abducted 2 people at Shabewa village in Duku local government area of Gombe State. Residents told Daily Trust that the kidnappers stormed the residence of one Umar Sambo who escaped into the bush. The kidnappers, however, took away his wife Amina and brother Mustafa. No contact has been established with the abductors at the time of filing this report. The police public relations officer PPRO in Gombe, ASP Mahit Moazu Abubakar, confirmed the incident. He, however, said police patrol teams in collaboration with vigilantes and hunters had been dispatched to trail the kidnappers. Now, a professor of history, a lecturer with the Federal University of Lafayette, Wilfred Oji, has said that unless the federal and state governments work in synergy, insecurity in Benue State cannot be tackled. While reacting to the renewed killings and kidnappings in Benue communities recent weeks, the university don said he believes that the current squad of leaders at the state and federal levels can end insecurity if the right strategy is deployed. Kimi Azandi completes the report.
Across the length and breadth of Benue State, there's a sense of apprehension among residents following the new wave of attacks across communities in the state and Nigeria in general.
In north-central Nigeria, especially in Benue State, huge population of young people, out of school with no jobs, and of course, who could not find their feet in society, poor. And of course, there's this agitation in all directions by young people, to control and to take over spheres of influence in terms of the economy, especially market centers across Benue State. And so you witness this re-insurgence of the kind of killings you have in Benue society.
Oh God, security in Nigeria is worse as it has ever been. 23 years of independence, kidnapping is rife, banditry is rife, armed robbery is rife, militancy is rife. Look at no part of this country is safe. Go to the southeast, you have IPOP. Go to the northwest, you have bandits. and kidnappers. Go to the northeast, you have Boko Haram, you have Ansaru, you have Akim. Come to the north central, you have headsmen.
Despite being worried, the residents also believe that governments at all levels have what it takes to end the conflict.
In other words, if the military can concentrate, if before the conflict entered the hinterland, the security agencies made sure they didn't come in. They won't come in, but they have come in, and they are not going. With all the military investments, they are still there. You know, General Abacha once said, if this kind of situation persists for 24 hours, the government has a hand, government is aware of it. I believe General Abacha.
In the final analysis, we must know that the responsibility of security is in the hands of the federal state. Only the federal state controls the military, the police, the navy, the army and ETC, and even the intelligence gathering. A state governor can only be effective if there's a synergy between the state and the center, that is Aso Rock. And I think this is something that we need to work upon seriously under Father Aliyev.
While displaced persons thought it was over with a new government in place, there have been palpable fear and anxiety following renewed attacks by vicious militia groups in Benue State for weeks now. Jimmy Azandi, Trust TV News, Makurdi.
Now, Adamawa State Police have apprehended 2 individuals for allegedly vandalizing armored cables that connect the Burinji water treatment plant. This was contained in a statement made available to the press on Monday by the police public relations officer, SP Suleiman Ongroje. According to the statement, the suspects, 17-year-old Emmanuel Joseph and 25-year-old Johanna Sule, both residents of Burinji Yola North, were arrested by police operatives from the Dogere Divisional Police Headquarters. The statement stated that the police were on a confidence-building patrol near the water treatment plant when they responded to a distress call from the plant manager. Further investigation into the incident has revealed that the suspect conspired to vandalize the armored cables that connect line to the water treatment plant, resulting in the shutting down of water supply to the community. Adamawa State Commissioner of Police CP Apola Babatola has reassured the public that criminals like Joseph and Sule, as well as their collaborators, will be brought to justice. He wants those who receive such stolen items to desist from the act or face the consequences of their actions. Now, the Rivers State Command of the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps NSCDC said about 105 suspects dealing on illegal petroleum products, illegal mining and trading and advanced free fraud were arrested in the last 3 months. The Rivers State Commandant of NSCDC, Basil Ebweze, who disclosed this in Port Harcourt on Monday while addressing men and officers of the command, said that it has also secured 9 convictions within the period. Basil Ebweze reiterated the commitment of the command to curtailing the menace of oil theft, pipeline vandalism, saying that the command under his watch will deal decisively with any personnel caught aiding illegal oil bunkering activities in Rivers State. He emphasized on the need to imbibe professionalism, discipline and implicit compliance with the core standard operating procedures, SOP and ethical values. Now, 4 people were killed on the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway on Monday when a luxury bus rammed into a truck. 3 other persons sustained varying degrees of injuries in the accident. Public Education Officer, Federal Road Safety Corps in Ogun, Florence Ope, confirmed the incident in Abeokuta. She said that the truck did not stop as the bus rammed into it while negotiating a bend around the car axis on the expressway. Ope further stated that 21 persons, 13 men and 8 women, were involved in the accident. The corpses were deposited at a morgue in Shagamu in Ogun, while the injured were taken to a nearby hospital. Now, meanwhile, since the implementation of the fuel subsidy removal, residents, especially drivers and travelers, have been facing difficulties occasioned by the increase in the price of PMS, popularly called petrol. In this report, Kabir Lawal speaks with operators of different parks in the FCT and brings us their tax report.
Kano, The removal of fuel subsidy has made transportation costs to increase, a situation most residents consider as unfortunate. The National Union of Road Transport Workers, NURTW in Abuja, says it has been receiving complaints from passengers on the continued increase in transportation fares, adding that parks have also been affected.
First thing is just a small grammar damaged business. So since it removed the subsidy, all things are not the same. The places they normally go, that kind, 12,000 naira or 12 or 15, have raised to, I can say, double. So it affects business, it affects economy, cost of living. Way be of a thing, we normally collect something of 5,000 naira, has gone up to 10,000 naira.
Things have already changed in the park, and not the way it used to be. We are not finding it funny at all. Whenever we tell travelers the cost of transportation, they will just change their mind, and most of them go back to their houses. It is rather unfortunate for us now, and we beg the people in government to come to our aid. Drivers on their part further explain that aside the increase of PMS, prices of spare parts have also increased due to the removal of fuel subsidy in the country.
Passenger now, even we take them, we tell them see the money we carry, then we say, why be so? We say na fuel, then we say to concern them, and then know how we go do. We go press ourselves to carry them like that, because we don't know how we go do. If we leave them, then we'll still suffer, then we'll run go house.
Passengers at the park also complain that the transportation fares keep increasing, a situation they said is unfortunate.
It has really been bad, really, because I'm a student and we used to take it before at the rate of 1,500, 2,000 naira. But now I have to pay 5,500 just to go to Kogi. It's never up to 3 hours.
The money I am using now for my transport fares is not encouraging. I used to buy my wares at a very low price, but now it has gone up and has actually affected my sale. Times are hard, and we are calling on the government to do the needful.
Both drivers and passengers are calling on the government to do the needful to enable businesses thrive in the country. Kabir Lawal, Trust TV News, Abuja.
The Federal Commissioner, National Commission for Refugees, Migrants and Internally Displaced Persons, Tijani Ahmed, has said the federal government will soon repatriate about 10,000 stranded Nigerians from the Republic of Cameroon. Speaking at the weekend in Abuja when he visited some internally displaced persons IDPs camps across Abuja to distribute relief materials, he said about 7,000 stranded Nigerians in Niger and Sudan will be repatriated to Nigeria as well. The camps visited were Durumi, Wasa and Karshi. Ahmed said foreigners in Nigeria who would love to be repatriated back to their countries will be repatriated as well. He noted that the government was also making plans to relocate IDPs and other vulnerable groups to permanent resettlement camps across the country. Now, the Hajj Commission of Nigeria, NICON, has allocated 1,191 Hajj seats to Ogun State ahead of 2024 Hajj exercise. The Executive Secretary of the Ogun State Muslim Pilgrims Welfare Board, Salau Babatunde, disclosed this in Abeokuta. He said the slots will be distributed on a first-come, first-served basis. Babatunde said the national body had also announced 4,500,000 naira as the initial Hajj deposit pending the announcement of the final fare. He stated that the initial Hajj deposit will be paid through bank draft or by paying directly through bank tellers obtainable at the board into designated bank accounts, while those that had made some deposits during 2023 Hajj are advised to top it up to meet current initial Hajj deposit. He urged intending pilgrims to fast-track payments of the initial Hajj deposit as the old way of processing visas has changed, informing that visa issuance will be concluded at least 50 days before Arafat by Saudi Arabia. You're watching News Update on Trust TV. Coming off, we take a look at how self-tutored engineer backs doctorate degree. More news when we return. Please stay with us.
Sounds like you are disappointed with the current lot.
We are outside, me and you. Regardless, we could have done better.
That you don't have to sacrifice your conviction. We cannot settle for what is bad.
I sacked a governor because of misappropriating 300,000 naira.
The clamor by the SSC was a unitary form of government. This doesn't go well with Savannah. So when we said we wanted self-government for Nigerian entities, so you count me out.
What you call goal, aims and directives. But the issue of joining politics simply because you want to be given job or to be given contract.
Removing the assumptions, the foundations of their theories, and at the end of it, each and every one of them seems is surprised.
I was posted to Guachuku. My job was to go from community to community, educating the people how to improve themselves. Government will come to help you.
The existence of tap-borne or potable water within the Federal Capital Territory has become somewhat of a myth.
When we see water, it just be like a goal where you just go and find out. You manage it to bath at times. You look this one don't bath, or the other one never bath. Just manage it like that.
Chicken garimuna, agafra junction, but with the adhirua ache namagari kena. Ko ba ka ba, wannan shi muna samu ya lalace. Wannan kuma na community kenan, wannan da kaga shi nan, da ka duba garuruwa duka akwai irin shi.
For domestic water supply for your home, your bowl must be minimum of 15 to 30 meters away from your sockaway. And it's not in every district they have central sewer system. The district where they have the central sewer system, some of these sewer systems are blocked. Some of them are even feeding the boreholes, the aquifers. Some of them are getting to the aquifers because when they are blocked, they begin to percolate, they begin to sink, and it begins to mix with water from maybe the surface water, becomes more polluted.
We are reviewing the water master plan because these areas were not part of the initial water master plan.
Welcome back. If you are just joining us, this is the news update on Trust TV, and here is a recap of some of our top stories. Solidarity protests in support of Palestinians as Israel Defense Minister orders complete siege on Gaza. And police officer sentenced to death for killing of Lagos lawyer Bolale Rahim. Now moving on to other stories. Mental health is frequently ignored while discussing health and wellness, but diet and physical fitness are given more attention. Mental health is often stigmatized and neglected. Speaking to Trust TV in Lagos, experts say statistics have proven that 1 out of every 6 Nigerians is faced with one mental health challenge or the other. They advise Nigerians to pay more attention to their mental health by seeking help from a therapist or counselor.
Mental health challenge or the other, and this is really alarming considering the number of persons that live in our country today. So I would like to give a public advice and call to all and sundry, including yourself listening to me now, to pay more attention than you've been paying before about your mental health. And one of the ways, or some of the ways they can actually do this, is by making sure you do not run away from therapy. And when you hear therapy, when you hear mental health services, we are not talking about mad people or yaba left. We are talking about things that are really important to you, to myself, because everyone who has a physical health side of them has a mental health side of them. And you cannot function properly, you cannot live up to your fullest potential if you don't take adequate care of your mental health.
Called mental doesn't mean that you're mental. It's that you have a mind that has its own function and you want to make sure that it functions to its capacity, right? So your mental well-being and your mental wellness is so important. Not even with everything that is happening in the world. Some people focus on only the news. And so they're consistently anxious, they're consistently sad, consistently depressed. I believe that you should have a therapist in your circle and talk to them every month, because something is new and something triggers us in different ways and in different times of our lives.
Gombe State University has awarded an honorary doctorate degree of science to Gombe self-taught engineer Hadi Usman. Hadi, who is in his 70s, has never attended any school for Western education but succeeded in assembling new technologies. Notable amongst his work is a stuff that runs on water. So TV's Ibrahim Ismail reports.
It was a moment of celebration for the self-taught engineer Hadi Usman as he received honorary doctorate degree of science from the Gombe State University. The university management said the award is in recognition of Hadi's accomplishment and service to humanity. Although he never went through conventional education, the self-taught engineer uses his talent and assembled new technologies, including a stuff that runs on water.
abu ne da wanda jin daɗinsa da farin cikinsa da baki ba zai iya faɗuwa ba.
My joy knows no bounds. For an ordinary person like me to receive such an award, I appreciate the management of Gombe State University for the honor, especially the Vice Chancellor.
Ni ban ma sani ba sai lokacin da aka zo min da takardar cewa an zaɓe ni an bani wannan matsayi.
Speaking on his next line of innovations, Hadi said he is determined to use his God-given talent to add value to humanity.
Duk mutumin da ya yi wani gwaninta ka ce kai ya baka sha'awa ya burge ka kare baka kokobo.
If you appreciate someone's contribution, he will do more. However, he would be discouraged without appreciation.
Shikenan ya kashe ma zuciya gobe ba za ka kirkiro wani abu ba. Saboda haka muna nan akan ci gaba. I
will do more to justify the confidence reposed on me. To whom much is given, much is expected. A staff of Gombe State University, Hadi Usman had assembled a radio station in the 1970s. His recent work on a stuff that runs on water added to his popularity. Ibrahim Ismail, Trust TV News, Gombe.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency operatives at the Malam Aminu Kano International Airport, Makia Kano, have arrested a 45-year-old woman, Bilkisu Mohammed Bello, with 52 pallets of cocaine while preparing to board a Saudi Airlines flight to Saudi Arabia. A statement issued by the Director Media and Advocacy of the agency, Femi Babafemi, said the suspect was arrested on Tuesday. According to statement said, while being interviewed, she confessed that the pellets of cocaine given to her to swallow before her flight were kept in a house in the Farawa area of Kano. In the same vein, operatives on Sunday 1st October raided Obikam in Owan West local government area, Edo State, where 30 sacks of skunk weighing 300 kgs and concealed in charcoal were evacuated from an old-dilapidated mud house. Now, away from Nigeria, at least 3 civilians were killed on Monday in Sudan when shells fell on a hospital, a medical source said, as fighting between rival generals continued unabated. Omdurman is the scene of violent fighting between the regular army led by General Abdel Fattah Abdurrahman al-Burhan and the paramilitary rapid support forces RSF of his former deputy Mohammed Hamdan Daglo, who had been at war since 15 April. Human rights groups have accused both sides of targeting health facilities in August. Medicine Sans Frontières (MSF) warned that Al-Noor Hospital is one of the last health facilities open in Omdurman. According to the United Nations, more than 70% of the country's hospitals are out of action. They have been bombed or occupied by fighters, and the stocks of those that are still functioning have been exhausted or looted. Reports say although most of the fighting was confined to the capital and the western region of Darfur, it has spread to areas south of Khartoum. The UN estimates that nearly 5.5 million people have been displaced and made refugees by the fighting in Sudan. And finally, on sports news, Italy-based Nigerian defender Tyrone Ebohe and Spain-based attacker Sadiq Umar have been called up as replacements for the injured Ola Aina and Taiwo Awoniyi in the Super Eagles squad ahead of the international friendly matches against Saudi Arabia and Mozambique. Both injured players were part of the players invited by head coach Jose Peseiro. Taiwo Awoniyi is set up to miss at least 4 weeks after he suffered a groin injury, while Ola Aina is yet to recover from the muscle problem that has kept him out of action for Nottingham Forest for the past few matches. The Super Eagles are slated to play 2 friendly matches between Saudi Arabia and Mozambique in Portugal on the 13th and 16th respectively. And with that, we have come to the end of the Trust News Update. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and our YouTube live stream for more news programs and documentary. I am Abdurrahman Umar. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.